Okay, this is in regards to Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Now, not that long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, a white man got shot here in Corpus Christi, Texas. He was a disabled white man standing in front of a Popeyes. The cop put himself within reach of the man swinging a baseball bat. The cop then pulled out his gun and shot the man 6 times in his throat, shoulder, stomach, and face. There was no protesting or anything such as that. Many white men, as well as Hispanic men, get shot by the police every single day. But nobody lifts a finger to say, hey, they're being prejudiced against the Spanish, or hey, they're being prejudiced against the white. It's only the blacks. So that tells me the blacks are the most prejudiced of all. Always complaining. Now, during those riots when George Floyd was killed by that white officer, the blacks went crazy. As usual, every time a black person does get hurt or shot by a police, the blacks find it in themselves that, hey, it's time to go rob Target, rob small businesses. Oh, definitely the liquor stores. And then they catch the whole side of the town that they live on fire. I remember seeing the picture, it's still posted sometimes, of the black man holding up his arm as in strength, clutching a fist, with burning buildings behind him. Burning buildings that are on the east side of town. Okay. Then they say, look at what the white people made us do. We wouldn't have acted out like this if you would just stop hurting black people. But what about the black people hurting black people? They went and changed Aunt Jemima to something else. I don't even know what the hell they call it nowadays, but that was my favorite syrup growing up. They want to go and change history. Okay, well, does anybody know that the blacks were not the first slaves on earth? It was the Romans. White people. Yeah. When they would go and take over countries and conquer the world, all the slaves, the majority of 98% were white. And that was way before the blacks became slaves. But nobody cares about that. No one remembers that far back. It's because every day we're reminded of Black Lives Matter. They act like blacks can't do anything, but I know that there's black doctors, black scientists, black teachers, black weathermen, black newscast journalists. There's black people that got a lot better jobs than white people, and even them are saying, oh, the Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Okay, I'm not just all one color. I'm many colors. But this has got to stop. It's stupid. It's simply stupid. Almost every time you see a criminal on TV, they're black. And it's because they got that easy card. They can do what they want and then they get out of jail because someone feels sorry for them because they're black. White people don't have that privilege. Neither do the Spanish or the Indians or the yellows or half-breeds. Just the blacks. I'm not prejudiced, but I'm disgusted with it. I'm tired of hearing it. Stop it already. Just stop it. It's just sickening. I don't know when it became legal to fight with an officer, steal his gun, not knowing if it was a taser, run, then turn around and shoot it at him. So the cop is feared for his life. He pulls out his gun and bam, 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 and he shoots him and he kills him. It's just ridiculous, man. Come on. This Black Lives Matter has got to stop. It is ugly, and it's the most prejudiced thing I have ever seen. White people don't get that justice. Spanish people don't get that justice. No one gets that justification except for the blacks. And every time some black gets hurt or shot because of circumstances that most does not reach the media, but eventually it does leak out. Like that girl that got shot in her apartment. Her boyfriend shot at the cop first. So yeah, the cop shot back. And ended up shooting her and killing her. You know, it's ridiculous. I feel bad for all people that are involved in this. I really do. But it's not going to stop until everybody stops at the same time. Her name was Brianna, I guess. I don't even know her name. God bless her soul, though. But Brianna. Her name was Brianna, I think. But you know what? Brianna, honey, you were dating a thug. And he shouldn't have never pulled his weapon. But God bless your soul, honey. Rest in peace. But you know what? Now here in Corpus, we're going to have another, so they say it's going to be a peaceful protest for Breonna Taylor. Why does everybody have to be reminded constantly of all this stuff? For God's sakes, can anybody rest in peace? Can anyone move on? It's another day. Arrest the cops who killed her. But what about the cop that got shot? You know what? I watch 48 Hours a lot. And it seems like almost every criminal on 48 Hours is a black person hurting another black. It's terrible. Forensic science. Always a black person killing someone black. It's black on black all the time, and then the white people get blamed. It's just something I just cannot stand it. I really can't. You know, I know that there are some crooked cops out there. God knows that I have had my handful of them. Here in San Antonio, take it back, Corpus Christi, there's another teen arrested. He's a black man. This guy got arrested for harming an animal, picking up a cat and slamming it to the ground. Horrible. The cat probably ran off with a concussion and later died, I'm sure. But there you go, another black man. He got arrested. But you know what? They'll find a way to get him out. They always do. Just a sickening situation. Looks like the cat made it. I see it on the news. See it over there? It says targeted with animal abuse. He's out of jail. Of course, he's out of jail. Why? Because he's black. That's why. That's why he's out of jail. After he literally hurt that cat by slamming it on the ground, he's out of jail. Man charged with animal abuse, out of jail. Why is he out of jail? Because he's black. You know, why don't they just pass the law that if a clerk gets shot at a store and it's a black suspect, just drop the case? Because if not, you're going to face charges later on that you're prejudiced. If a black goes robs a bank and they say it was a black man, just let it go. Because later on, He's going to get out of jail, and the charges are going to be dropped against him and turned around and blamed on the cop that arrested him. Maybe he put the handcuffs on too tight. He called him a racial name as he was arresting him. There'll be something. So, these blacks that are doing this are the most prejudiced people in the world. They're the ones that are prejudiced. Always saying the white man did this, the white man did that. Now, what about that little white man that they beat the hell out of that owned that little store? And it was on social media. The little dude laid there with his arm twisted all up, facing upward, while his body was laying upward as well, because his arm was completely twisted out of the socket. What about that old man that was riding up to get some gas, and he had to drive through the protesters to get to the gas tank? Them blacks, boy, they went off on him so bad. Who's gonna justify that? You know what, America? It's up to you to stop it. Stop this nonsense. All lives matter.